All right, my friend, let's get to it. We've got a little mobility, flexibility, a little bit of strength happening today. All you need is a band, not super heavy weight. We're going to be using it for some shoulder exercises here, maybe a little bit in our hips. We're going to start off by putting our feet together. Good posture, shoulders down and back. You're going to tuck your hips in. Strong core, strong glutes here. And take a deep breath in, reach up to the ceiling, look up high, and lower back down. We're going to do that again. Try to get your arms as long as possible as you reach towards the ceiling and lower back down. One more time, thinking about keeping your shoulders down and back. And now from the top, we're going to grab on and pull down. All right? And now press up like you're pressing something heavy into the ceiling and pull down like you're pulling something heavy. Just doing a little activation here, pressing and pulling. One more time, press hard and pull down. Now go ahead and bring your hands right above your elbows. Elbows are straight out from your shoulders, still in that good posture, and we're going to squeeze together and open back up. As you squeeze together, really think about squeezing your chest muscles together and getting those elbows as close together as you can. Notice how my elbows are still lined up right over my hands as I do this movement. I'm not bringing my wrists in before my elbows. Everything stays lined up. All right, let's go ahead and drop it down. I want you to have your hands out here next to your body and reach your fingertips into the floor. Really externally rotate. That means open your palms up to the outside of the room and push your fingertips into the floor. Raise them up, still pushing, and rotate your palms down towards the ground. Let's push down, open up again. Open it up, push towards the floor, and go ahead and interlace them in the back. As you have them interlaced, I want you to think about pushing your shoulders down and back, opening up your chest, raising your gaze towards the ceiling, and if it feels good, you can bring your hands away from your back, opening up your chest. And now we're just going to take it the opposite direction. So release your hands, interlace them in the front, and we're going to reach towards far out in front of you as you can. Drop your head between your arms and round your back. Rounding it up and out. Now relax that position just a little bit. I want feet together. Let's reach your hands towards the floor. And bend both knees, keeping knees over feet, not letting them bow out, not letting them bow in. Knees stay right over feet. We're bending and now we're straightening. Just do a few of those at your own pace. Bend, then straighten. You should feel the muscles in your legs begin to activate. And you should feel a really good hamstring stretch along the back of your legs. Let's do one more here. And with both legs straight, staying in the same position, bend one knee. And we're just going to bend back and forth here a couple of times. That straight leg should feel a really good stretch through your hips, hamstrings, maybe into your calves. One more on each side. All right, we're going to take it down to the floor here in a half kneeling position. So one knee is right beneath your hip flexor, or right beneath your hips. The other foot is right beneath your knee. You're going to squeeze your glutes here. Tuck your hips under, brace your core. Right now you should feel a really good stretch through your quad and into your hips. I want you to reach your hand up towards the ceiling. Other hand reaches down towards the ground. And just lean over as far as you can, comfortably, slightly uncomfortably. We don't want pain here, but we want a little bit of stretching through your hips. Go ahead and relax it back down. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to do that again. Reach it up high. Really lengthening your hip muscles here. Getting a little activation because we're squeezing our glutes. And relax out of it. Now we're going to press into it a little bit. So keep that same positioning. You can brace your hand on the floor, or you can grab a chair or something to brace your hand on. We're going to press our knee forward just a bit here. So my knee is getting out over my toes, working on a little bit of ankle flexibility along with hip flexibility. So my heel stays on the ground. I'm trying not to put a ton of pressure on this front leg, pressing in to my back hip towards the ground, and I'm going to squeeze this glute on my back leg. That's going to get me even further into that hip stretch. Just go ahead and rock back, and we're going to do that one more time. Rock it forward, keeping your heel on the ground, heel of the front leg on the ground. Get an ankle flexibility along with hip flexibility. All right, so we're going to take it up into a runner's lunge, but this is going to be a little bit of active work here. So up on the back, the toes, or the ball of your back foot, and we're going to be in a runner's lunge up high. Get your balance. If you're struggling with balance, step those feet a little bit wider so you aren't on a tightrope, feet in front of each other. And your front leg should be burning just a little bit here. You're getting a good stretch still in that back hip, but your front leg's like, what's going on? I need a break. Instead of giving it a break, we're going to go ahead and give it a couple pulses. So think about pulsing up and down. When you think about pulsing, don't think about just bouncing up and down or moving up and down. Think about the muscles that you're working to create that pulse. So as I move with this, I'm really focused in on the muscles in my front legs. I feel my quads firing. I feel my hamstrings firing. I feel my glutes working. All these muscles, I'm thinking about working them as I go through this range of motion. All right, one more, and let's straighten your legs out. Bring that back leg in just a little bit, and we'll go into a triangle stretch here. So with the triangle stretch, you want both legs straight, and you want your hips squared up towards the ground. Now, you might not be touching the ground here. That's totally fine. If you can't touch the ground, go to your range of motion. You can place your hands on your shins. You can place your hands on your thigh. You can, again, grab something to help you out with balance here, but really try to work on balance as much as you can. Important notes, you want your back to be nice and straight, and you want your hips to be squared up to the ground. Now, we're going to take this just one step further. Shift your weight to the front foot, and I'm shifting my foot back slowly. All right, weight is on my front foot, and I'm just going to do a couple more pulses here. I have my back foot on the ground still, and I'm just pulsing, bending my knee, really working those front leg muscles. One more, and let's bring your feet together. And we're going to step the other foot back. So I'm going to shift so you can see the other side. I'm going to step the other foot back, and we're going to do that again on the other side. So we're starting out with our knee right underneath of our hip, foot right underneath of your knee. Squeeze your glutes, tuck your hips under, get that good stretch going in your back leg here. Reach your hand up high, other hand reaches towards the ground, and we're just enjoying a good stretch in that leg that just did a lot of work. Deep breath here, and relax it down for a sec. Shake it out a little, and let's rock back into it. And go ahead and relax it down. All right, you know what's coming, right? And next we're going to be going into your runner's lunge. So we're just holding it up here for now. Holding this position, this high lunge position. Thinking about what our body is doing right now. So my hips are squared up towards the front of the room. My shoulders are squared up. My core muscles are braced. I'm squeezing the glute of the leg that's in the back, activating that stretch even more. My knee is right over my foot, and I'm stabilizing that. I'm not letting my shin rock around at all. All right, front leg screaming at you just a little bit here. Let's go ahead and get it screaming a little bit more. We're going to Pulse it up and down. Pulse it up and down. Again, thinking about the muscles that you're working, not just moving, not just bouncing, but really trying to connect to the muscles that are working in that leg. Let's give it a couple more here. Last one. And drop your back knee to the ground and shift your weight forward. We're going to go into that ankle and hip stretch on this side. Again, keeping your heel on the ground, pressing your hip into the floor, keeping your hips squared up towards the front of the room. Rock back on it, relax for a second, and let's go into it one more time. Whew, that front leg. Working hard here. All right, we're gonna straighten both legs up. We've got a triangle pose ahead of us, so both legs straight. Feeling a good stretch through the hamstring of that front leg. Again, using whatever you need to use to stabilize this movement here. Couple more seconds in this really good stretch before we start scooching our foot back. And go ahead and start bringing it back just a little bit here. Bring that back foot in just a little bit so you have a nice close stance and your hands are on the ground. And we're just gonna bend and straighten. Now I've got about 80% of my weight on my front foot. Right now I'm watching my knee, making sure that it's not going in or out, making sure it's staying right above my foot. You don't want that knee bowing in, bowing out. Keep everything lined up. We've got two more here. And let's take it all the way to the ground. We're going to go into a couple of glute bridges. Now you do have the option of using your band for the glute bridges. You can take that band and put it about 3 or 4 inches above your knees, lower quad area. Feet are hip distance apart. Heels are very close to your glutes. Core muscles are strong and engaged. Shoulders are pushed down and back. And you're going to press up towards the ceiling. As you press up, squeeze your glutes. It's not about the movement. It's about what your muscles are doing through the movement. So really think about your glutes working here. You're resisting that band, so not allowing that band to push your knees into each other. So you're going to feel this a little bit in your outer glutes as well. Keep on going. Really getting that good squeeze. We also want to avoid pushing up too high. We don't want to get into this overextended position here. All that's really needed is that you get your body nice and straight and you feel that good squeeze through your glutes. Keep your core muscles engaged, and that'll help control any overextension that might be happening. We're going to go ahead and go through 2 more here. Last one. And we're going to flip it over onto our hands and knees. So again, I'm keeping this loop on. You don't need the loop, but you are more than welcome to use it. Hands are underneath of my shoulders, knees are underneath of my hips, and I'm going into fire hydrant. So my core is braced and strong. All I'm doing here is raising my leg up as high as I can while not shifting my hips. So I'm avoiding getting into this really open, hip shifted position and just opening up as far as I can. So right now I'm working on range of motion. You guys can join me right now. Working on range of motion and also working on strengthening my outer glutes here. My toes are flexed back, so not pointed toes. Toes are flexed back. My core is braced and strong. I'm thinking about pushing my shoulder blades into my back pocket. I've got one more here, and we're going to switch to the other side. Last one. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Same positioning. We don't need to go through it again. And let's go ahead and lift that leg up. Again, as you move, think about what you're doing. Don't just go through the motions. Even if you don't have a loop on you right now, you can make this work just by focusing in on the movement, focusing in on the muscle that you're working, slowing your tempo down, squeezing up top. We got 2 more here. Last one. And you know, if your butt isn't on fire yet, it's about to get there. So I'm gonna do something a little bit tricky with my bands here. Not tricky, but I'm gonna do something with my bands or my loops to help this movement out, to keep the loop from sliding around. So I'm gonna be working my right leg. So I'm gonna place the loop underneath of my left knee. I'm just gonna tuck it down just a little bit here so that it holds on. So it's tucked under my left knee, and then my right leg is the one that's gonna be working. I'm again in that hands under shoulders, knees under hips position, flexing my foot back, and I'm just gonna press up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and join me here. So this is working the big meaty part of your butt. Really avoid any hyperextension of your back. You want to keep your back long and straight. Think one long line from the base of your spine to the top of your head. And really think about what you're working, right? You should feel your butt muscles burning right about now. Go. We're going to give it 2 more on this side, and then we're going to switch to the other side. Last one. All right, let's go ahead and switch. So we're going to put the loop underneath of the other knee. So just hold it tight. And you don't have to do this. If the loop doesn't roll around on you, then don't worry about doing this. But if the loop's rolling around, this will help. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Flex your toes back. Brace your core muscles. Squeeze your glutes as you press your heel towards the ceiling. We're not pressing this one out, we're pressing it straight up. Breathe. Fight through that burning. Good muscle burn means you're getting stronger, building muscle. Last one. And go ahead and rest. Let's take those loops off for now. We're gonna go through a half get up here. Since we're on the floor already, we're going through a half get up. So for this movement, you're going to have your left leg and your left arm straight. Your right leg is going to be bent, and your right arm is going to be up right above your shoulders. So my arm and leg that are straight are at a 45-degree angle from my body, 45-degree angle. And I'm gonna keep this hand right above my shoulder through the full movement. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up onto my elbow, keeping that hand above my shoulder, and then roll up onto my hand. Again, keeping that hand above my shoulder, neck elongated, I'm not sinking into my shoulders. And then I'm gonna roll back down onto my elbow, and all the way back down. Go ahead and join in with me. Roll up onto your elbow, up onto your hand. This is called a half get up. As you can see, it can be used in everyday life. We're getting up off of the floor. This transitions into a full get up. Additionally, you have the option of holding a weight in this hand that's right above your shoulder. But let's not hold any weight in that hand until we've mastered the movement. You should be feeling this through your core muscles, rolling down into the floor, rolling up out of the floor. We're going to do one more and then switch to the other side. Last one. And let's go ahead and switch. So now, my right leg, right arm are both straight at a 45-degree angle. My left leg is bent and my left arm is right above my shoulder. I'm gonna roll into that elbow, keeping the hand right above the shoulder and all the way up. Go ahead and join in with me. As you come up, think about peeling your back off of the floor. As you come down, think about rolling your back into the ground. This is really going to help activate your core muscles. I want you to try to avoid lifting your legs off of the ground as you go through this movement and really make those core muscles work. Don't skip the elbow either. Roll up to your elbow, then up to your hand. There we go. Let's go ahead and do 2 more here. Last one. Go ahead and come on up with it. We're just going to stay up here with it. All right, we made it through that. You might be feeling a little bit out of breath here, and that is just fine. So now I'm going to get up off of the ground, right? So to get up off of the ground, I'm going to go from both knees on the ground. Place one knee forward, place my weight, use my hand, and press up through my heels to get all the way up. Again, if you need something next to you to help you get all the way up, have that next to you and ready so that you, don't fall. All right, we're gonna move into a little bit of shoulder work here. So up first, you're gonna grab that loop again, and you're gonna place it a couple of inches above your wrist joint. Palms are gonna be facing together. Squeeze your shoulders down and back, like over exaggerate it, because we wanna build really good posture. Squeeze them down and back, and I'm gonna go from this overextended position to tucking my hips under, squeezing my glutes, and contracting my core muscles. Now, keeping my wrists shoulder distance apart, I'm just gonna raise my arms up straight to right about shoulder height and lower them back down. I'm just gonna repeat that. The entire time I'm doing this, I'm not letting that loop pull my wrists in. I'm fighting that loop. Feeling this in the outside of my shoulders right now and in the front of my shoulders. My core is working because I've got it engaged. I've got my glutes working because my hips are tucked under. My shoulders are staying down. Don't let them hike up. Really think about pushing your shoulder blades into your back pocket. All right, one more here. I know your shoulders are screaming, right? And relax, relax. Roll those shoulders back a couple of times. Roll them back. All right, we're gonna get into a little bit more mobility work. I'm gonna ask you to find a wall and get against that wall. I'm gonna show this to you a little bit closer to you and kind of walk you through it. We're gonna have a couple points of contact on the wall. First off, your heels are gonna be on the wall if you can get them on the wall. The important things here though, butt on the wall, lower back completely attached to the wall, shoulders and head attached to the wall. Lower back is the very important one here. The minute you start feeling your lower back peel away from the wall, that's where you stop your range of motion. So what we're going to be doing, palms facing together, we're just going to be raising arms straight as high as we can, keeping our low back attached to the wall, keeping those points of contact as we go through the entire movement. Right? So against that wall, everything is tucked in and pushed into the wall, and just raising your arms straight up overhead and lowering them back down. All right, you're going to feel this in your lats, those big muscles that run along the upper side of your back. We're stretching them, we're kind of activating them a little bit with this movement. Now, if you're only here and you start feeling your back pull away from the wall, it means you might need to work on stretching your lats a little bit more. And I'll give you a nice little lat stretch before we finish up today. But only push as far as you can, keeping those points of contact. There we go. We're going to do one more. Last one. And bring it back down. Now let's go ahead and work your lats just a little bit. We're going to go into a hip hinged position. So feet are hip distance apart. Stand up tall. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And the first thing you're going to do is bend at your hips, pushing your butt back towards the wall behind you. Okay? That's what a hip hinge looks like. Your knees are soft. We're not bent here like this. Back is super straight, getting as long as you can from the top of your head to the base of your spine. We're going to put our palms facing together, and we're just going to do a low row without weight. So low row, you're going to keep your elbows in close and pull up, keeping your shoulders down and lower back down. All right, we're pretending we have something very heavy here, working on connecting with our muscles, that mind-muscle connection. So I want you to think, keep on going. I want you to think about feeling the muscles that run through your the side of your back, kind of near your armpit and running down, kind of connecting down here. All those muscles are what I want you to think about squeezing as you pull up. Additionally, think about bracing your core. What does bracing your core mean? Well, if I was to come up to you and punch you in the gut, what would you do? What would you do right before I punch you in the gut? You would brace your core, right? So I hit that load of bricks. Bracing your core, pulling your belly button into your spine. There we go. Glute muscles are engaged. Just give me one more here. And go ahead and relax. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. All right, we're gonna go into a little bit of a mini lunge here. One right foot is forward, left foot is back, hips are squared up, and we've got some arm circles. So with these arm circles, you just wanna think about movement here. Our legs aren't doing anything. We've got an iso lunge, which means we're not moving in that lunge. Our shoulders are moving, soon we'll be burning. Really pull your shoulder blades down and back. Think about tucking your shoulder blades into your back pocket. Let's make those circles a little bit bigger. And a little bit bigger. Let's keep growing those circles bigger and bigger until you can't make them any bigger. And let's reverse it. Take it back. Big circles here. And we're making them smaller, slowly getting them smaller. The smaller the circles get, the quicker the movement. All right, I've got little tiny circles here, moving quickly. And go ahead and relax your shoulders, stand on up. We're gonna bring the other foot forward. So other foot's gonna be forward. And we're gonna be in another iso lunge, right? Iso lunge, so holding that position. But now we're gonna be moving forward with our arms. So reaching up towards the sky and then lowering back down. And just like we did when we were on the wall, think about what your back is doing. Don't let your rib cage flare out as you reach up. You wanna keep your core muscles engaged. Don't allow your lower back to get a lot of extension here. Really try to keep everything strong and braced. And we're just reaching up, not back. And again, this lunge is whatever position you can get into, right? So if you want to be way down here, have at it. But if you're up a little bit higher, that is completely fine too. We're going to do 2 more here. And go ahead and rest. Bring those feet back together. Stretch out those inner thighs. Nice wide stance. Toes are going to be tracking out about 45-degree angle. And your knees are going to push out as well. Kind of a sumo squat here. But we're going to hold it isometrically. So again, we're staying low. I'm going to use my hands or my elbows to press my knees back towards that back wall. I'm going to hang out here. Now I'm not way down here, slunched all the way into it. We'll get there. Right now, I'm up a little bit higher, pushing my knees back, and my legs are shaking. I'm going to rock side to side. And now I'm going to lower down a little bit deeper into it. So now I'm deeper into this. I'm not working as hard with my muscles. I'm more in a stretch here. All right, let's go ahead and lower your hands down towards the ground. Straighten your legs out. And let's hang out here for just a second. This feels nice. Drop your head. Relax into this stretch. Take a deep breath on the exhale. Round up nice and slow. Push your back up towards the ceiling. Last thing that should come up should be your head. Once you get up to the top, roll your shoulders back a couple times. Good. Shake your arms out a bit. Let's go ahead and grab an elbow. We're going to hold on to that elbow and pull it towards the side. At the same time, we're just going to lean towards the side as well. So this is going to give you a good stretch through your lats and then also through your triceps. And relax, drop your arms down, move over to the other side. Be sure your shoulders are not hiked up into your ears. Feel free to move around here with this stretch. Feel the different muscle areas that it stretches as you move your body into different positions. And relax, release it. Pull an arm across your body. Again, keeping your shoulder down. With this one, you can drop your head towards the opposite shoulder. Get a little stretch through your neck. And bring your head up. Let's stretch the other side. Pull your arm through, drop your head down. Relax your arm, drop your head down here. Let's just let it hang for just a second. Moving my shoulders around a bit, and I'm going to drop my head to the other side. Really pushing that opposite arm away from my ear. Getting this area as long as I can. Roll towards the center, and let's go over to the other side. And back into the center. Bring your head up, roll those shoulders back a couple more times, and there you have it. I hope you feel like you got a little bit of work in. I hope you feel a little bit more flexible, a little bit more mobile, and I'll see you next time.